Chainsaw Man.
Why were you revving up? There was no Dingy in this chapter.
Call me the falling devil, because I'm falling for you.
Wow, 2 out of 10 would not go home with you from a bar.
Damn, dude. And with the standards as low as yours, that's...
Ow! Ow! Did you...
Okay, Wha-bam! Okay, here we are.
Just hold on. You saw my whole Twitter rant probably in the
I didn't see your shit. I just know what you date, and I know how long it lasts. To Chainsaw.
Like literally, I put out like, and suddenly Vex changed their preferences to just women.
Chainsaw.
Men, you have failed.
Man. I love this chapter. I think this is one
honestly.
of the best chapters in a while. I think we were, in terms of our predictions, I think we were both a little right and a little wrong, and I like that. You said something in the last video about like, about how this arc would kind of like explore through Asa's subconscious, and you were so much more spot on than I thought you'd be.
Right? Call me Nostradamus.
That was one of the better predictions you've done, because I thought that was a good idea, but I was like, yeah, maybe not. This is back, of course, when we thought this was the Suicide Devil, and you had said, oh, maybe as she's like walking up to the top of the building to like kill herself, there's like levels to, as she goes up the levels, we go through the levels of her subconscious. But rather than that, it's the falling devil, and the more levels of subconscious we go through with her, the more she's going to fall, basically, as they say something like that towards the end of the chapter. So I really like this misdirect with Fujimoto here. I think a lot of people were pretty confident in what devil this was, including myself. I was like, oh, okay. And you had also said something about how you didn't want to get to the horseman this quickly.
Right.
So it's not, these are like, as this is a primal devil, this is definitely a not as powerful as, like I would say if I'm ranking this thing alongside darkness, right? Falling is a big fear, probably not as big as darkness, right? I would guess.
But how about falling into a pit of needles?
You're referencing the top 10 phobia list.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, also like I was making like a Saw joke there in a way. But like there was like a heroin needle trap in there. But like Luke had put in like this like really cool list of like the top 10 fears.
Phobias.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna go through a few of them really quick because I can see some of them being utilized and a little bit here. So yeah,
we've already seen the snake devil, so that one was pretty powerful. Although Kobani fucking just ran up it like a ramp.
Yeah,
but so that wasn't just the snake devil. That was the snake devil being utilized by random hoodie girl.
Yeah, so we have like the fear of open spaces, fear of heights, fear of flying. I'm not even going to try to pronounce some of these.
Fear of open spaces would be interesting because that one I don't really fully understand. Like I don't, that one I can't even like relate to.
Yeah.
Like, what is the deal with that?
Being alone in an empty room, basically.
Is it like similar to like that liminal space thing?
Essentially, is the way I've always understood it.
Like
this is something
the creepy empty mall in the middle of the night type shit.
Yeah, it's something this is like a list I actually studied quite a bit. And I have my own reasons for that, but yeah. Fear of flying, fear of enclosed spaces, which is claustrophobia. We're all familiar with that one. Like getting in a packed elevator is like fear-inducing for some people. Fear of insects.
Fear of incest.
Definitely not in Japan. Fear of snakes. Fear of dogs. My old maintenance man had that one because he was afraid of. It is literally my old maintenance man is afraid of Akiza. Who is like the dumbest looking, derpiest dog on the planet.
A pug, like a fucking accidental, a sneeze away from death, I'll say.
Honestly, a stereophobia, which is fear of storms. A lot of people are afraid of thunderstorms.
No, see, I saw that one and I thought of the typhoon devil. We got a little bit of that one, yeah.
And then my personal biggest fear is trypanophobia. I'm slaughtering the pronunciation of it, which is the fear of needles. I am a person that fucking hates needles but wants to be covered in tattoos. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, hold on now. What was the devil that Quan was? Was it just look that up really quick. Go to Quan's Wikipedia page.
Quan
Quan XI or XI, I think. Yeah.
Chainsaw Man, Devil.
It was like Spike or something, like kind of close.
Yeah.
Knife maybe? I don't remember.
Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Shit. Her hybrid form was arrows. So
Arrow, yes, okay.
yeah, I thought it was arrow, but I want to be double sure because I don't
What
want
is
to
an
get.
arrow but a very big needle?
You're not wrong.
No, but Needle Devil, I mean, you could do some crazy fucking imagery with that, like some, the classic, needle in the eyeball thing, or, needle under the fucking, yeah, oh, yeah. But instead of that, let's talk about the chapter. So I'm a really big fan of the Falling Devil so far, because, my personal headcanon is that these Primal Devils, random guy in the comments that was mad at us for saying Primordial, I'm so sorry. I don't know where I got that from either. I'm assuming it's from the Bleach dub. And maybe I'm wrong on this too. I have a memory of watching the Bleach episode where Grimmjow and Ichigo are fighting for the third time, and Holly Bell is talking to her Fraction, and she's like, they're all kind of pissing their pants about how holy crap, the energy from them is crazy, and they're trying to be like, no, I'm not scared, and then Holly Bell's like, oh, the fear you're feeling right now isn't a rational fear, it's a primordial fear, it's deep within your gut, hold on to
I could have swore they used primordial in the original translation.
I thought so too. I went back. They did not. So
they did not. Okay.
I'm thinking that I just called it that the whole time because that was a quote I used to say it to myself all the time, like Holly Bell being like, "It is a primordial fear, relish it."
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the only.
Again, like I said in the comments, it's not that fucking deep either.
Right, but I think it's important to remember that you can't read tone in comments, so he could have genuinely just been asking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah, honestly,
my first instinct too was to take it as an insult, like "fuck you." What do you mean? And then I was like, oh, maybe.
No, I'm always a sarcastic cunt. If they couldn't tell either. Unless I'm fighting with a overly popular band's vocalist on Twitter, and then I'm meaning every word I'm saying.
But I think my headcanon with the Primal Devils is that because we know that they don't really die as often, so they don't get reincarnated as often. So I like to think that they would be more intelligent. Whereas you look at Power or most of the other devils, they're kind of just like, "Rawr, I'm gonna eat," or they're just dumb, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even War Devil to an extent comes off as a little dumb, but Falling. I mean, imagine how long this devil's been around, and probably hasn't been right.
Well, I mean, look how long the Life Alert commercial's been around, Red.
True. Someone's gotta make an edit of the Falling Devil, just like in the background of the fucking Life Alert commercial.
So I did not make that joke out of jest there. I recently discovered that commercial was made in the 1980s, and it has been basically the same.
Never changed it. Yeah.
The original Kiss Merry Christmas jingle. They've just recently edited it to have the fucking peppermint flavor of Hershey's Kisses. That commercial has stood the test of time since then. Right. Yeah. Nothing has changed, but they've changed the fucking Kiss types that were in there. Everything else has been the same, but the Life Alert commercial has been the same since the 1980s.
Hey man, it's crazy to think about. Everyone in that commercial is probably dead.
No, absolutely, and probably one of them, at least statistically speaking, from falling.
Do you think? Yeah, true. Do you think the family? Honestly, yeah. I mean, that is how old people tend to go. Hey, when you're 60 plus, be careful in your shower. All right, folks. It tends to be how old people go down. Don't drop the soap for multiple reasons.
Oh, God.
So anyway, I love the Falling Devil because I like that they got drip, they got pizzazz, they got riz. You know what I mean? Falling
the
Devils
potential in this chapter too.
They're I will begin to cook. Let him cook. No, but later I do want to really. I'm trying to get this thought out for actually 5 minutes, and I'm going to shoot myself in the head if you don't shut the fuck up. I'm messing with you. But thank you for shutting the fuck up, though. That's very nice of you. I didn't expect it to work. Falling Devil has got that drip. Okay, I love that moment because I'll be honest with you, the design from last chapter, I was like, whatever. I don't really
it was scant-esque, but no.
I mean, it was just a little too similar. I don't know. It just kind of looked like it was tripping into Jujutsu Kaisen territory for me. And I've said before, I think Jujutsu Kaisen spirit designs are kind of mid and just boring, and they tend to just be balls of wriggling flesh lumps. And
They're going to kill you in the comments for that one, Red.
Right, well, get me. I like the nature one with like the trees coming out of his eyes or whatever. That was nice.
I think they're all kind of ass, in all honesty.
I don't like the designs in Jujutsu Kaisen. That is the Gojo show as far as I'm concerned.
Panda and Gojo show.
Yeah, I love Gojo. Once Gojo's unsealed, I'll come back to see what he does. I mean, that show really is just like a ticking time bomb until Gojo like comes back and solos the whole fucking like all the
Honestly.
villains. like, but anyway, so yeah, I mean, I just like that. You know, we after seeing so many like animalistic devils that think Bat Devil or the fucking.
The cockroach devil.
Yeah, yeah. And this one's like looks down and they're like, "Oh, my pussy's out. My little pussy flap is fucking."
It's getting censored by Viz. Cancel Viz. Only use fan translations forever.
No, it wasn't. No, actually, that was.
I know. I was making fun of Twitter.
Oh, I was gonna say because that was like a China thing, right? Like what? Mm-hmm. Like yeah. Anyway, because I saw that too. Like in different countries, in certain different countries, they like de-nippled it. But. Yeah, no, I just like how they look down. They're like, oh, well, this won't do at all. And they fucking rip the head off a random woman by twisting it off, too, like a soda cap.
Like a fucking praying mantis killing its prey there.
Twist that shit off. And I love that the head is not on them, but they're just, like, holding it there. You know what I mean? Which is, like...
With the chef's hat on top of it that it just acquired, by the way.
So, I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I'm probably wrong. I assumed that was, like, a random garbage can they found. And they're using it as a chef's hat.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I'm like, what garbage can would be that small? Because most garbage cans would fit like easily.
Right.
So like, I don't know. I mean, let me look at it again. So like, go to the page.
It looks like I have it up. It's on page 2-3. I have it up. It looks like a WWE style garbage can.
And that's what made me kind of think that, because you're right. I mean, none of those people that fell was wearing it. Who the fuck's like in their apartment wearing a whole ass chef's hat?
Like unless they got out of work right there. But even then, like you and I working in warehousing and shit, like as soon as we get home, we're stripping down to our fucking bra, panties, and underwear. Fuck that shit.
My panties, the panties that I wear. Yes, but yeah.
Some of us do wear panties. Okay, shut up.
Hey, I tried them on. I'm not gonna lie. Allie wanted to see me in panties, so I tried it. Not a lot of ballroom.
They're like boy shorts, best thing ever invented. Oh, yeah. They're like diet boxers.
What was I gonna say? Diet boxers, yeah. So like aesthetically, this design is amazing. Like so good. The apron thing, I love her. She's stanced up. Like the titties are pointing. The titties are like Lara Croft PS1 pointing.
I'm glad you brought that up. I wanted to overlay that for the thumbnail, like Lara.
The floating head thing is so cool, and I love that because she twisted off the head, it's like bleeding. You know what I mean? Which looks also really... It's just such a good design. Like, this is one of his best devil designs in a while. This devil doesn't just feel like another random, like, animalistic monster to beat. This feels like a presence. Like, this motherfucker's got presence, has got intelligence. It's so much more fun to watch these kind of villains. And, like, this, it's not as good or as powerful as Darkness Devil, but you can feel like this devil is in, like, the same echelon. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're up there. I would say they're probably, like... 25% as strong as Darkness Devil. Like they're really strong, but not at, they're primal, and it's like really exciting. I mean, and you're seeing like genuine reality warping shit towards the end here, where she's like flipping. I mean, she's not literally flipping the world, but like it seems like it's a despair thing. She says something like, let me find it. The lower your heart sinks, the higher your body falls. That's the concept of this dish. So basically, like, she's this like flashback thing that Asa is going through, or like this life flashing before your eyes thing, is happening to all these people that are floating, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end, you see the door to... I'm going to assume this is the door to hell, because every door-related thing we've seen in this series has been, like, hell-related. So, like, I'm guessing... because she also says towards the beginning, I'm here at request of the residents of hell. So I'm wondering if maybe residents of hell can make contracts with devils. We've never heard that mentioned before, but why not, right? Hell exists, therefore, presumably, certain humans would go there when they die, correct? It's not just for devils. Like, there's got to be humans there too, right?
Yeah, like,
because I guess we don't know that for sure, but the residents of hell, right?
I'm trying to think here. Like, I've been trying to think my way out of that for a while now. Like, you would think like that's true. Like, there's gotta be.
Yeah,
But
we need to learn more about that, and if it's just demons that live there, devils that live there, or people too. But either way, I'm guessing that, like,
because we have been, in a sense, been following, like, in its own right, like a sort of Judeo-Christian reality inside this series. Like, we've had the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse being in there. We've also had, like, little themology there driving into it as well. But at the same time, like, Fujimoto plays by his own rules, so we don't really know if there's a heaven and a hell here. But we had an angel devil, too.
that's true. But they exist based on not realities but fears, right?
Right.
So I mean, if people fear something that doesn't exist, there will be still a devil of it. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, like,
like,
there's
that's
like,
why
you know what that means. There's a fucking reptilian devil.
there's a Rastafarian and a Pastafarian devil. Like, there's
Anything that anyone fears.
like, I really do love how fucking Fujimoto writes his fears-based power system here, or lore. I wonder, like, if we get to, like, the modern times, if we have, like, a masked devil or an ivermectin devil.
Well, no one feared ivermectin. They were all about it. They were like, we want it. Inject it right into my veins.
Joe Rogan shilling. Like, the fear of Joe Rogan himself.
The vaccine devil.
Well, I mean, that ties into the needle devil.
Yeah.
Think about it.
It'd be let's see here. Now, okay, here's something we need to talk about. Well, here, let me finish that thought and then we'll get to it. Okay, so, yeah, we need to learn that, like, does the existence of devils in this world confirm, like, because I don't know if you'd call it magic, but, like, their world has, like, some sense of, like, there's different realities, dimensions, right? Because you can look at hell as, like, a religious, like, this is just an afterlife thing, and I've also seen hell portrayed in fiction as, like, just a different alternate dimension thing, right? You know, you're thinking, like, is it literally like another realm that's only accessible by the dead, or is it more like the upside down in fucking Stranger Things, right? Like, so that's one question, right? Two is who's there, right? Because again, hell could just be, oh, that's what we call the home of the, like, where devils are born in this world, or do humans literally go there when they die? Does that mean, is there a heaven, right? Because what we have a world here where humans, it's similar, again, I don't know how far you are on Fire Force, but the cataclysm, you know, and like your humans' thoughts becoming reality, manifesting. That's kind of the vibe here, right? I'm guessing when people fear things, that is when a devil is born. So if a new thing is created that hasn't been created before, and then the first person starts to fear that thing, boom, that devil spawns into existence, I assume, right? So by that same logic, if humans' bad thoughts can condense and form reality and, like, beings and locations and stuff, couldn't their good thoughts as well? Maybe that's what heaven is in this world, right? Like, good thoughts go there, potentially. There's a lot he could do with it. And then the only other thing I wanted to say, because I don't want to forget, what the fuck happens if Chainsaw Man eats the falling devil? just no one can fall ever again? Like, I
mean, by the rules we have established, that is correct.
I love that so much. Please toy around with that, Fujimoto. I want to see him erase, like, a fundamental, like...
So think about all the shit that has happened because of a character falling. Like, Yuko would have never gotten injured.
True, but it doesn't go... Oh, doesn't
I know,
you're
but
right,
like...
actually, maybe. Hold on, maybe you're onto something. Wait, finish your thought.
So, like, Yuko never getting injured, which means that they would have never formed a bond.
Oh, shit, yeah. Dude, that's a good point. Falling really has been, like, it's so... Oh, yeah, and I forgot to mention this, because I mentioned this to you in chat, but I didn't mention it in the video yet. Falling is such the perfect fucking devil for Asa to go against, because all of her trauma is directly
like, literally, like,
yeah.
Her mom, because she fell, died. Her cat died because she fell. Also, but we might just have, like, a retcon here, because this fucking caretaker deserves, like, the ultimate death.
What do you mean by retcon?
Like, we thought that the cat was killed because of the falling too.
No, I think you're making that up. She saved the cat for the...
She saved the cat to save her, while trying to save her mom.
No, so she stopped to save a cat, and that's what she wasn't trying to.
Right.
Let me finish. I'm talking. She did not. The mom she wasn't trying to do anything with her mom. She stopped to save the cat, and that
the mom
led to her mom dying.
Yeah.
As far as I know, I can go back to the chapter. I don't think that the cat was injured.
I probably am just like misremembering that.
Yeah.
And then now we're understanding like why the cat's gone.
And that makes this. Oh yeah, maybe we were. Yeah, that makes this even harsher though, because like this is the cat that her mom in a way died for, right? Because like, she fucked up by and it's a nice gesture, like, oh, let me save a cat, but you're gonna feel pretty bad if you by trying to save a cat your mom dies, and then even that cat can't live, right? And this caretaker's a goddamn psychopath.
This caretaker, if this caretaker actually drowned the cat, we don't find out in this chapter. It's heavily implied, though. We saw a cat that looked like yours at the bottom, and then and then right here,
all but confirmed.
It's all but confirmed. We don't want to admit to child murdering in this series, or pet murdering in this series.
Cats are our children. Thank you very much. We're millennials. Cats are our children.
As my fur child is literally screaming at my studio door, and I can hear it over my fucking IEMs here.
Drown their Vex. Join the dark side.
No, I will not.
I'm gonna go back to that chapter. I'm gonna find it. When was she?
Neither, as annoyed as I am with both of my children right now, neither of them deserves death.
When I'm trying to remember, when was she? When did she flash back? When did we see her thing about?
It was like 3 or 4 chapters into part 2.
It was like, wasn't it right around the time they were running, or like from the Bat Devil?
Yeah. Like I said, 3 or 4 chapters in there. But I love that Fujimoto considered the cat a family member, though. Here.
Absolutely. Yeah, me too.
Like, I'm glad that, like, the millennial manga author respects animals as much as we do.
Damn straight.
And the fucking name of the cat is dumb as hell, though.
Definitely. But, I mean, that's Asa for you. I wonder if it's a reference to anything. Google that. See if anything comes up.
Okay, Crambon.
That gives you something to do while I'm trying to find this.
I can type. Crambon. Crambon appeared in an old children's story in 1923 that was written by Keiji Miyazawa.
Oh, it is a fucking old school Japanese reference, huh?
It's a Gugure Kokori-san episode 1. So yeah, there's nothing on it on Mal. But this is Crambon. I'm gonna put it in the Skype chat.
I found the chapter. It's 102. They're running away from the Typhoon Devil with her mom. She spots the cat. She breaks off from running to pick the cat up. Then she trips. Then her mom sees that she's tripped because a car is like flying towards them, and she pushes her out of the way as the car hits her mom. The cat, the cat's fine. Then an old woman comes up and she's like, "Oh, at least you saved the cat." The cat was fine. The cat was still left over.
Yep. Okay, so also it is a type of dress, apparently.
Well,
so it could be
Asa's
either.
A fan of 1920s Japanese pop culture.
And and a very, very ugly dress.
Asa would be a fan of that too, probably.
Honestly, given her Riz, definitely.
Rizless.
She is absolutely Rizless femcel.
Oh, I love her.
Also, Kotaku, you owe us royalties.
I guess so.
My DMs are open, as is the channel.
You got to give context to people. Even I almost forgot that.
Kotaku wrote an article about calling Asa a femcel, and now I'm demanding royalties because we made the joke first.
So normally I would, obviously Vex is joking, right? But then, honestly, I'm going to be fully honest with you. There is a genuine possibility that we were the first people on the internet to call Asa a femcel. Like I don't know how possible that is, but I feel like it's within the realm of possibility. We were calling Denji an incel. We were fucking throwing the word incel left and right so much it was pissing people off. This whole fucking story is full of incels.
Yep. So Kotaku, I'm waiting on my royalty check. Vex on YTG on Twitter.
And Kotaku, I don't know. What do I want from Kotaku? I want a job. I don't give a fuck how bad. I just don't want to throw boxes anymore, man. Can I just write bullshit articles all day?
That's literally their entire publication at this point, so why not?
I can be your. I don't know.
You could be their next leftist with colored hair, as the meme would go.
I'll write articles about how gay friendly One Piece is. Like, look at this. Is Chopper trans? Is Chopper's power a trans allegory? I don't know. Do they write stuff like that?
You're not far off from their publication. Or bitching about Cuphead being too hard. I think that was them.
Okay, well, so let's look. So there's a couple more things I want to talk about.
Yeah, we gotta stretch this one. We got a 2-week break here.
We don't even, but we don't gotta try to stretch it. There's plenty to talk about. So like, I like it when Fujimoto confirms things, because Fujimoto he's not like Togashi, like he will. So you have to kind of like assume things about like certain characters like powers until they're like kind of confirmed in like a side little comment. So for a while, I had been one of my headcanons about Asa and Yoru, and it's one of my favorite headcanons about them, has been that Yoru being a like millennia old. I mean, I'm getting thousands and thousands of years old devil, right? Ever since war existed, her being that old, she would struggle to use her powers because her powers rely on forming a connection to a thing and then feeling a heavy sense of loss and guilt when destroying it, right? So you'd think war would have a hard time doing that. So that's probably why she makes connections with humans. And in this chapter, I think I'm pretty much confirmed to be right there. And I'm not pretending like I was the only person that thought that. I just like that as an idea. And in this chapter, she basically says, of the two of us, only you can create strong weapons. In a moment of panic, I think that's causing Yoru to admit certain things that she wouldn't say otherwise. Because Yoru, I think, is very proud, and I don't think she would normally admit to Asa that, like, I need you, right? Yoru is admitting now that all she can do is make weapons out of dumb, useless shit. Like, things that, like, yeah, we own. Like, I bought this ruler, I'll make a weapon out of this ruler. But, like, I don't think Yoru has the capacity to, like, feel guilt killing someone and using them as a weapon, or feel guilt because like, oh, this was my mom's ashes or something, you know what I mean? Like, so like I like that's confirmed that's a cool dynamic. She literally does need. And remember, in the one last thing, in the early bits of this arc, you and I were constantly talking about how like Yoru would be like, I'll kill you at any moment, I'll kill you if you fucking piss me off, but she never would. And I was like, clearly there's like Asa's got something. Reason. Yeah. We were like, why is Yoru kind of being more subby than we'd thought to Asa? And now we're kind of seeing Yoru literally does need Asa, like, in order to do anything, essentially.
So I think like the only thing that Yoru could actually physically make a weapon would be Chainsaw Man, because she really does want the Chainsaw Man dead.
True, but would she feel any sense of guilt of getting rid of him? The way the power works.
So like, no, not even at that point would she have a W, essentially. Like, the war is literally taking an L no matter what. Like, even having the power back of like nuclear weaponry, she wouldn't really feel anything because she's so numb to the feeling of war. And even having it back, like being attached to Denji, like, if we lose our original protagonist in this arc, which is always a possibility because this is Fujimoto, like there's really no win there, because like she still wouldn't feel the guilt in killing him.
I think that will be part of her arc. Like, I think that it's going to be, she's going to have to realize, like, getting this power back is not going to make you happy. I do think that a lot of this probably does come from the way that her sisters treat her, because I still get the vibe that her sisters, like, look down at her and laugh at her, you know what I mean? And I think that maybe she thinks she'll be, like, oh, I'd be happy if I could just get my nukes back, like, I would be one of them again. I'd be part of the clique. But now, like, maybe she looks at herself now as, like, an almost shamed, fallen, disgraced horseman, because she's lost a lot of her power. But like, she's gonna realize that it's not gonna make her happy, and maybe she'll find some happiness in camaraderie and friendship with Asa, because like, there's a moment that I keep thinking back to in the aquarium where Asa's like super pissed at Denji, and she's like, God, that guy, don't you think so, Yoru? And then but Yoru's gone at that point because Fami sealed her away, and there's like a moment of kind of sadness, even though the goal is to get rid of her, right? So like, I love what's going on with them. So
there definitely is like a codependency that's been formed here, and I do respect that Fujimoto is kind of dove into that realm of things here
Oh yeah, I
because
mean, I
like
imagine Asa would be lonely as fuck right now. She's had this voice in her head for however many months. Imagine it's just gone. Like she'd probably go crazy.
yeah, like having now that we know like a little bit more of her backstory, we knew she was like parentless thanks to the Typhoon Devil, which I'm glad that we kind of dove back into that. But like now that we know like what her circumstances were at that assumedly like orphanage there being taken care
Yeah, I'm
of by
starting
this
to
kid,
realize why she has stunted like social skills.
like she kind of shut herself off to the world, and I kind of relate to
Well, if
that.
your
Like I
caretaker is fucking drowning your cat, you're not gonna speak
right,
up,
right,
are
right,
you?
right. I didn't come from like that kind of circumstance, but
Oh yeah.
like I like growing up in a small town, you really do like have a very limited capacity for social skills, like depending on like how small that town is, and when it's like sub 100 people, like realistically everybody knows everybody's business, but like you don't want to dive too far into their lives, so to speak. Like and depending on like the different ideologies in said town, like you don't want to associate with those people to begin with. uh
Yeah.
but like having like my own little stunted social status and like latching onto any like attachment of that I have, even if it's an unhealthy coping mechanism, like I kind of relate to Asa more and more as I see her as a protagonist here.
Dude, I mean,
uh
I think she's incredible. I think she's genuinely gonna go down as one of the better like female
yeah,
protagonists in manga.
right. And I love that we tackle a lot of these issues in Chainsaw Man. And what I really like, the last thing I really want to dive into is turn to pages 16 to 17 really quick, where we're going into hell, seemingly.
All
Um,
right. Okay.
so right below the headless horseman of fucking falling there.
What do you mean?
So that
Oh,
first
you mean
like
the first panel of falling? Yeah, sorry.
yeah.
You were so fancy with it, I was confused on what you're saying.
So like look at that character design.
The guy falling into the door?
It almost looks like Dingy, but it's not Dingy.
No. That you think Denji would ever dress that fancy?
No, but it looks like him, like facially and everything. Is that like her like idealization of Dingy?
No, that's just
Yeah.
a random guy. That's just a random citizen. I don't even think it looks like Denji, to be honest with you.
So the way I was diving this here is like we have like both Yoru and Asa here, and the way I was like threading this together was like one thinks of them much higher than the other.
But actually, you see this guy. You see this guy on pages 14 to 15.
Oh, I know. He looks like a derpy businessman.
Yeah, it's that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought maybe one side of them was seeing Dingy as like this higher, and the trauma from the date has brought that out. Since we're going to the flavor of your past traumas delight your taste bud. Having such little experience in dating as Asa does, that date could be one of the dramas that she has to live back through here.
The aquarium one or the house one? Because remember,
The house one.
Well, she has no memory of that. Oh, from
right.
From her perspective, it's just she stood there and he stood her up.
Right. So no, that wouldn't even be considered a trauma. So like
exactly, yeah.
So
and from her
no.
perspective, the aquarium one went well. You know, they ended that. Yeah. But at the same time, I really don't think that this panel that you're talking about has anything to do with anything. I think it's just like there's no like metaphorical shit there. I'm pretty sure it is just like random civilians are also falling up. You know what I mean?
Well, poor citizen's going to get a really rude awakening in there.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly.
Like
he's going to fucking fall into the blender. But yeah, no, Vex, not everything has to be a Matt Pat game theory, all right? You went very Matt Pat there. You were like, if you zoom in, I think this is symbolic. No, it's okay. I respect the effort, though. I respect the hustle.
But like,
you're sounding a little like Luke right now, okay? Like, too much Luke. Like, you've been talking to Luke too much, right?
I'm thinking though, like if she did have that would probably be one of the traumas she had to live back through, though.
I'm sure we'll see. Oh yeah, because like you were talking earlier about like I'm glad we saw this little like more of her flashback. I'm sure we'll see even more. I have a feeling that the whole fight with this falling devil is gonna have to do with her like confronting her.
I love that shit. I fucking love
that's
that.
that's very Persona. That's very Kingdom Hearts. Where you, or is it just does that happen in Persona? Like you know the vibe where you like that feels very Square Enix to me. Where you like go into someone's brain. You like go into their emotions. Have you watched Wonder Egg Priority?
I did watch a bit of it. I need to finish that.
I mean, it ends terribly, but it like the first.
I've heard
the 75% is lovely. Plus trans rep.
That's what actually got me interested in it, honestly.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like that vibe there. It feels like a video game, that show, where like you know the whole vibe is like healing people's trauma. You manifest people's trauma into like an anime monster, and then you fight it. Basically, I love shit like that too. I agree. There's an arc in Hanako. There's an arc in Hanako like that actually, where like the artist girl arc, where you kind of have to like she has this like idolized like version of herself that she has to kind of confront. It's really
yeah. There's a lot of that. Like earlier Persona games are like you're going to hell and here it is. Persona 4 and 5 kind of dive away from that aspect.
What's the one where they're crawling through the TV? Like I've seen that image a lot. What is that? You know what I'm talking about?
I have very little knowledge of Persona.
Oh, okay. It was a PS2 one. Someone in the comments, explain the Persona lore to me.
Please, God, no.
Yeah, no, I want to see a long-ass comment explaining
that's a Party Jams novel comment right there. Yes, for each fucking game.
All right, just the crawling into the TV one, please. Thank you.
I started playing Persona 4 because it's on Game Pass right now. And my mind is fucking melted playing that game.
Is it good though? Is it fun?
It's good, but my mind is fucking melted.
Is
like
that
I played
the one with Joker?
No, that's 5.
Oh, okay.
I have that. I don't have Royal. I bought the original one when me and Chris were at that hotel playing Smash Brothers.
Oh wow, it was a long time ago. God damn, fucking memory flashback there. You know those videos are still up on our channel. Never get rid of those videos. I like them for
I have them in like an unlisted playlist.
I wouldn't even do that. I mean, well, but that's fair. As long as I can find them, that's good for memories. As an old man,
I did this. I unlisted like Ruby and all that other shit. Ruby for other reasons if you follow that arc, but like
I keep forgetting that's out right now. I should like I'm gonna watch that tonight, see if it's like shit or not. Don't tell me if you've seen anything. Don't tell me. I want to go in with a fresh.
The volume's out.
Yeah,
I'm not giving Rooster Teeth money, but it's on Crunchyroll, so
yeah, I already pay for Crunchyroll, so it works.
Exactly. I'll watch it and see what quality it is because I do respect the animators that had to
separate the creative team in the company.
Yeah. Well, also the fact that the animators got fucked over for that volume in particular. Like, they made that volume and didn't even get to reap the rewards of it because they got let go before it even went out. Yeah. That's what really left the sour-ass taste in my mouth for that one. Regardless of all the transphobia and racism that was going on in the background of that whole shit show. But, no, like, if you have Game Pass, I definitely recommend playing Persona 4. I've been enjoying the hell out of it. It's also available Game Pass PC if she has the Ultimate, so you can play it on your gaming PC that you use to record this shit.
Awesome. But yeah, I mean, I think like just a couple last things to mention here for me. Like visually, fucking love pages 12 to 13. When it 12 to 13 on the left there. When it turns and she's just like hanging there.
Right.
I was considering making that my cover photo on Twitter. I love that so much, but I can't replace Maka. She's too good. You haven't beat Maka yet, Asa.
What is my current cover photo on Twitter?
Yeah, what? I'm gonna check too, actually. Mine is Mako when she goes into madness when she's fighting.
Mine's Yosfam right now.
Oh, nice. You know what mine is, right? It's like
yours is the Maka.
The best panel in all of fucking Soul Eater.
There's one panel that might beat that for you.
The other panels. Okay, I'll show you right now. All the I literally every time there's a double page spread that like makes me shit my pants, I save it. Okay, I'm gonna show you right now. We're doing this live. Okay, you're about to see Red's favorite Soul Eater panels. Okay, so this is one of them.
Where are you sending these?
Facebook.
Okay, let me open Facebook back up.
And for the audience, it's The Corona, yeah.
The one you used earlier in our conversation. What?
The Corona with the fucking.
That's actually going on. I'm saving that one actually.
Yeah, Corona after. If you here, let me send it to you on Discord later so you can get like the good quality version.
Yeah.
So that's.
I might make that my Facebook one.
Chrono after they get transformed, like after they're saved and then unsaved and then they're like merged with their fucking with Ragnarok or whatever. Poor Krona, really going through it. That's a phenomenal panel. The other Manga panel that I fucking love and almost made it my cover photo, but I couldn't get it to format correctly. Like it wasn't fitting correctly. It didn't look as good as a cover photo.
Canva is a great resource for that, honestly.
Yeah, I basically just decided that the one that I have now looked better as a cover photo, but I gotta scroll. It's been a while, but it's the one where she's fighting Arachne, and it's like the final.
Such a good fight. Such a good fight.
Phenomenal fight. Oh, before that one, this everything. The way I fucking screamed, shitted, pissed, and cummed. Holy fuck.
God.
So that's when she learns how to like make manifest wings on her scythe or whatever. I guess it's like Soul and her both doing it. Phenomenal stuff because like there's such a build up to it. She's like,
I still, as much as I hate fucking Death Battle, I still want a Maka versus fucking Ruby
so bad. Me too, because it's just so perfect. It's like magic versus tech. It literally they can do the same shit but with magic versus tech. It's so good.
I mean, that was essentially Yang versus Tifa.
I know. Give me the fucking. It has to happen, bro. I need
like they did that fight so fucking dirty though. Like But they would dick ride Ruby to oblivion.
I don't care what the fucking results are. I just want to see it. Like
I want to see the animation. I don't give two fucking shits or pisses about the fucking analysis because it's all biased.
I just like hearing them talk about the characters, to be honest with you, in relation to the other characters. Like I feel like people get way too fucking butthurt about it. It's just a fucking fun little.
It's like listening to a Westabu fucking describe anime, and that annoys me.
Yeah, doesn't bother me.
Because they can't pronounce like half of the fucking words that they're trying to speak.
I understand the criticism. It just doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, it's the same. Honestly, it's the same as that person that was mad at us for saying primordial instead of primal. It's just like.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I'm making that exact argument here.
I mean, I get it. I understand. I can't find the other one, but the other one's when she's slicing down.
You're using the actual like Kindle version, aren't you?
No, I'm. It's all screenshots that I've like saved on my phone.
But you buy the digital volume.
Yes, because I couldn't wait for all the hardcovers to come out. I want to finish it.
So how are you buying the digital volumes?
Yeah, on Amazon, and then
they go right
they're
to
my Kindle app. Yeah.
Yep. So again, I was right.
Yeah, no, I thought you meant I was using that to find the screenshots.
No.
I'm losing my mind. I can't find the fucking panel. But anyway,
you basically are doing what I do with comics now. So like when we used to do like the Radiant Black and Rogue Sun discussions, like any thumbnail that came from that was from like the Comixology version of it. And that's because I collect enough shit, and you know this personally, I collect enough shit that I do not need a 75 bookshelf full of comics. And if I had a physical version of every comic I own, my entire studio where I'm recording this would be filled with nothing but comics.
My rule for anything that I'm buying in terms of book, usually manga, is if I'm going to reread it, if I think I'll read it multiple times, I'll buy it. Yep. So that's why I didn't buy Dr. Stone. I like Dr. Stone. I got the vibe immediately. I'm not going to reread this. I am
actually going back through and rereading Dr. Stone right now. And I was doing that while Luke and I, along with Party Jams, were filming that season 3 video.
Yeah, that's a series you wanted to reread. wasn't for me. I wasn't feeling like rereading it. You know.
But I have that same rule with comics. Like I own the hardcovers, and they are out of print again now of Sandman. That is like my favorite comic of all time.
Oh, I get it, man. I still can't. I mean, I feel like I'm never gonna get Hanako Volume 4. It's just for whatever reason they just don't print any more Hanako Volume 4.
I literally got my hands on the 3rd omnibus of Sandman, and it went back out of print. I got it like 2 days before like they closed down whatever imprint of DC again is printing those. and I own every single hardcover volume of the Power Ranger comics, and I reread those like yearly
I found
because there's
sorry.
there's so much is going on in that is actually tying into sort of the lore of the actual show.
I found.
And
Sorry, you're still talking. Go ahead.
yeah, and then going back through and watching the series now and filming videos on that with the like mod crew, like I'm finding a whole new appreciation for that essentially. But each one of those is $80 a pop, man.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah. No, that's the nice thing
ridiculous.
about manga. $10 each, super cheap. I actually went back into Kindle to find the other two
Okay.
of my favorite panels. This
Um,
one, oh my god.
Dude, I'm going to I am literally missing this man already. Like his
I miss him
art
so bad.
style.
Yeah, it's his art style is everything that I like in terms of aesthetic.
So
Uh,
like, but you were asking like how I'm like catching up with Fire Force, and I kind of fell back off of it for a little bit there because like I'm not doing like the manga
just
streams
read it
anymore.
yourself. You don't need to stream it.
So like the way I'm doing it now is like I'm buying basically a volume a month and reading that
Oh
physical
sure, that
volume.
works. Yeah.
Um, and I'm finding a more appreciation of actually reading the actual hardcover volume
Yeah, and then you get there's no hardcover for Fire
or
Force.
the hard printed
Yeah,
volume
yeah.
than the digital because it's not like the crappy fan
It's
translation.
yeah, it's better. And
And
they're only like one volume away from having all the volumes out too, like in
well, that
English.
volume comes out next month anyway.
Yeah, I think it's
So
either one or two more volumes that English needs. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the final volume comes out next month. I might be mistaken.
I think
So
there might be one or two more. Yeah, I'm not too sure
um
because they just
so
came out with the finale of the Arthur Dragon fight in
yeah,
English.
that one was just at Barnes and Noble.
Anyway, I have one more panel to show you, and then it's this one. His double spreads are so good.
They
I
really are.
love that stare down they have as she's like fucking crumbling. But yeah, no, phenomenal. The Okubo Appreciation Hour. But finishing up with Chainsaw Man. Final thoughts, predictions, etc.
So we got 2 weeks here, Red.
Yeah.
Which I hate and love this because these
Yeah.
videos are always fun. These like I say I'm drifting away from manga content
But not
repeatedly,
Chainsaw Man, right?
but like Chainsaw Man will always hold a special place in my heart as something I always find joy in filming.
I'm glad.
And
Reading, I'm hoping.
well, reading is not even the whole point of this. Like I love Fujimoto as an author.
I'm just
Like
making sure you're not reading it just because you love talking to your boy Red so much.
no. No, trust me. If I was doing this just to film something with you, I'd find something else to do.
Okay.
But the one thing that I do find a massive fault with is we still haven't finished. Look back, we still haven't done Goodbye.
Oh,
I'm trying to make more content with you, Red. Let's take the fucking hint.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I actually have officially. I actually don't remember which one's which, but I did just because I was bored. I did.
Was
read
it the filming one?
It's the one with the kid that made the movie about his mom dying.
Goodbye, Airy. Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is I need to go back and reread Goodbye,
yeah,
Airy.
we can film something like that for that next week.
Sweet. Okay. I will reread Goodbye, Airy. I was actually meaning to do that. I have the volume of it actually pre-ordered as well.
Oh, nice.
Because I'm slowly collecting everything this man has wrote.
I'm starting to realize that he can only write autistic characters. They're all autistic.
Right?
Like,
I'm glad you see it because I felt dirty wanting to say that.
That fucking kid in Goodbye Airy. We should save this for the video, but like, wow, man, fucking holy
hella
shit.
autistic.
He's like, damn it, we need to save it.
So I'll reread that tomorrow.
Not tomorrow. Wait till like next, because we're gonna want to film it. Well, I guess we could film it next week and just release it later. But yeah, I guess whatever.
But yeah, so I'm doing that, and then have you seen that they released his other short stories in the Viz app?
Yeah, the before Chainsaw Man stuff or whatever. Yeah.
So I had bought the physical volume of that before they even announced they were gonna fucking put that in the app. I highly recommend that to you. It is a phenomenal retrospective in how far this man has come.
Yeah, I mean he's really interesting. I'm sure I'll check him out at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. The second one in particular, I think you'll love. I don't want to spoil anything because if I even mention the premise of the story, you won't want to read it because it will spoil a lot of it.
Yeah, don't say it. That's okay. I'll check them out for sure.
But I think it'll be one you absolutely love. I also like when I get done reading Fire Force, I want to film something with you on that.
Definitely. Honestly, like I guess you're doing it like with the physicals now, but like it's killing me how long you're taking.
I'm on volume 10. I just bought that one last week because I had a credit from when I still worked at Amazon. So they gave you like employee discount, and I had like a coupon from where I was a good boy. So I'm like, so I used that to buy the 10th volume because I still have to pay my taxes. It's the first time in my life I've actually had to pay taxes, and I hate it.
Like, why?
I made too much money.
Oh, so instead of getting a refund, is that what you're saying?
So I owe the city I used to live in like $200. But like federally and state-wise, I'm getting a refund, but not a whole lot. But like city taxes, they didn't deduct enough when I worked. Oh yeah,
that happened to me too, dude. That happens when you move around because that happened. Yep. That same shit happened to me when I moved from there to Justin's.
Exactly, like
same thing. You got a letter out of nowhere, and they were like, "By the way, you owe us like $300."
No, my tax agent's like, "By the way, you owe them $200."
Oh, I got a fucking letter, and I opened it, and it was like, "Hey, you owe us this. You have like a month to pay it, otherwise, bad things."
We'll put a warrant out for your arrest, and be like, "Okay, come get me, bitch." No, I got paid.
Even the Joker don't want to fuck with the IRS.
No, absolutely. Like I am not more psychotic than the Joker, okay, audience. I am paying my taxes. So
I'm not like a socialist. I am a socialist.
Honestly, so like just story time.
Wait, real quick, someone needs to use the fucking AI, the AI voice shit to have like Bernie Sanders do a speech like, "Now I agree with the Joker here that we need Medicare for all." And the Joker's like, "Yes, thank you, Bernard Sanders. I also think we need Medicare for all." This is a good man.
Unironically, the Joker is pretty based in his own right.
It depends on the version of the Joker, I guess. But I could see certain versions of it, like the Joker from I only know the movie ones, obviously, but like the Joker
the animated series version of the Joker that Mark Hamill plays is absolutely based.
Well, yeah, and I'm thinking about like the Joker that Joaquin Phoenix was in that solo Joker movie. I mean, he was radicalized by terrible policies, right? And like real quick, terrible policies that were like fucking up the working class. So like he very well could have become like a based ass like revolutionary leader, but he was just like a little too off for that. I think. Gone. Yeah, but like I could see a version of that story where the Joker is like actually based and like actually like uses his like kind of powers for good.
Yeah, like
because I mean he fucking I'm sorry I'm now remembering how that movie went. It's been so long. He started that shit by killing like a rich boy, right? It was like some like Wall Street fucking like I don't know, some like nepo baby.
Yeah, fucking nepo baby. God. No, but like I still don't understand why they're making a sequel to that movie.
Because it did well. That's the only reason. It definitely wasn't intended. I'm gonna hope and believe that maybe it can be good. We'll have to see.
Like Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix. I can't think of a more polar opposite pair to be Harley Quinn and the Joker.
Hey, maybe Lady Gaga will surprise us and like she's a great actor.
Like she's actually like I've seen her act in another movie. I forget what the fuck it was. I was drugged there on a date.
Is that confirmed? Lady Gaga's in that?
Yes, she is she's playing Harley fucking Quinn.
Really? Wow.
And it's going to be a goddamn musical.
No, I'm hoping that's not real.
That is real. That was the Warner Brothers press release.
What if they change it?
I'm shocked it didn't get a tax write-off status like everything else Warner Brothers would make.
Maybe it'll be like, remember that scene in the first one where he's like kind of dancing in the bathroom?
The meme of like, or the dancing down the stairs meme.
Oh yeah, well, but I could see it being good if they do it, if they play it like dark, right? Like okay, it's a musical, but it's like really dark and fucked up.
It's like Sin City 2.
Like okay, think more like Clockwork Orange, where they're like singing while they're about to like rape that girl. Like it'd have to be like that. Otherwise, I think the tone would shift. Would be very strange.
Right. That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, I mean, but I also want to believe that Joaquin Phoenix wouldn't like agree to do it if he thought it was going to be shitty. You know,
he acts in so few movies at this point. Like I would hope that's.
Yeah.
I would hope he's got enough standards to not sign on to that. But Jesus Christ, the bag the man might have got from that movie.
That's true. That's the same thing that I'm hoping for. This just became a podcast, by the way. Chainsaw Man, yeah. Did you watch Squid Game at all?
I watched the first half of it.
Oh, bro, that was.
I need to sit down and finish it. I know
it's a very boo. We don't like capitalism kind of show. You can.
Yeah, I loved everything about what I saw, and then I saw everything it was becoming very quickly because I saw it late on, and then they started making like Funko Pops of it, and then Mr. Beast parodied it.
But that's just.
I know.
That's out of the control of the creative team. That's just it got popular, so the people that own the rights for merchandising went crazy. That's just how it goes.
And
you have
what
to separate
really
shows from like what the creative and merch team do. You know, it's just like that the Lorax movie. Like people were like, "Oh, Lorax, it's about not."
I still use that gif way too much. That let it die.
Yeah, and that movie was fine. You know, but like and then people get all pissy about like the merchandising, and it's like, yeah, but the people that made it didn't.
Well, I mean, there was a fucking Lorax puppet when I was a baby.
Yeah.
Like. The Dr. Zeus really had no control over that shit. Like once it got to a certain point, like sure, whatever. It's the same way. Like I think I mentioned it last episode of this. Jesus Christ, I almost called this a podcast, but that's basically what I turned into. But like I saw the Winnie the Pooh fucking movie. Did you see that they turned Sesame Street into NFTs?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so
Big
like
Bird
that's
approved personally.
Yeah, so Cookie Monster is going to be the first one, but like the reason the fucking Muppets in general, like the Sesame Workshop, all that should exist was to teach underprivileged kids about like learning, essentially.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And now it's being bastardized because like, we can chase a bag. I hate it.
I just in general, I try so hard to separate.
I understand the Pokemon company turning Pokemon into NFTs because all they care about is money.
Right.
But like, I really didn't picture seeing the first thing when I opened Twitter to promote the fucking crazy video that the podcast crew and I filmed was fucking Cookie Monster is going to be an NFT. Yeah, that ruined my whole day.
The final point and lesson of this conversation is separate the creative crew from the like higher ups, because that's I mean the nature of capitalism is that you have people at the top that take credit for all the work that the actual people that make the thing do. You know what I mean? Like that's all they do. They've positioned themselves where they're like, oh, I have all the money, so I'll fund you, so you have the ability to make the show, and then once it's popular, I'll take all the credit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Despite having COVID, this was a pretty solid video, Red.
Yeah, it really went off the rails towards the end, but it was very on topic in the middle. So yeah.
With that, a massive piece from me. See you in 2 weeks for the next Chainsaw Man, and maybe in a week for Goodbye Airy.
With that, a massive Crambin for me.
Massive Crambin.
God. Crambin.